Presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about Carson Wentz, who led the Eagles to the first win of the year while playing with an injury-riddled roster Sunday night. Wentz ran for a TD and threw for another in the fourth quarter against the Niners. The Eagles, with just one win, are now in first place in the NFC East. That is.
Least side?
Marcellus.
What?
Did Carson Wentz silence his doubters with that W?
Hell no, he signs. I'm one of them. I'm still talking.
You always talking, though.
That is true. Talking. You sound like my wife. Damn, I don't shut up, even when I'm wrong. But I'm right on this one. Oh, he can't shut me up. One of those games that we saw from Carson Wentz yesterday, that's the type of game that Lamar Jackson gets clowned for having. Like, that's the kind where we're like, how'd you win MVP before you still can't play receiver? If Lamar Jackson has one of those type of games. If Dak Prescott went out there and had one of those type of games, do you know how the world would crumble? And Acho would sit there with that frown and that Botox need right there, loving life, because you got exactly what you want. No, he hasn't silenced any doubters. This is crazy. I'm getting tired of this Wentz privilege. Like, we're going to grade him on a curve because the dude buys shotguns. Everybody's scared because he's an avid hunter. Yeah. And he was an MVP candidate in 2017. Like, when are we going to let this go? You know what the headlines read in Philadelphia? Because I had to do some traveling through my Google searches. And I said, I wonder what they're saying in Philadelphia, because maybe I am too distant to see what is positive about Carson Wentz. Oh, here's a headline. Eagles Carson Wentz's legs propel team to first win of the season. Legs? That's not good. He plays quarterback. It should be his arm. But it wasn't his arm. It was his legs. And if you continue with that narrative of Carson Wentz looks amazing when he runs the football, you know what happens? The vicious cycle continues of him putting himself in harm's way and becoming injured, and he already is injury prone. So when you talk about what Carson Wentz did yesterday with Zach Ertz, who is, remind you, third best tight end in the league, who's taking a lot of the attention and coverage. So therefore, those no-name guys can shine because Zach Ertz is in the building. I didn't see anything positive from it other than the W that came from you being less than an elite quarterback.
You didn't see anything other than the only thing that there is to be seen.
What's that?
A W.
Wow, we doing that? We doing that?
Yeah, we're doing that. Okay. Marcellus, you don't count as being silenced in regards to a doubter, because it's hard to silence you, sir. I worked with you for 2.5 months, and that's one of the few things that I have learned. But what I did learn is very simple, Marcellus. Don't give me meaningless stats, because the stat that matters is the win and loss column. That's really the stat that I care about.
Okay.
Carson Wentz silenced his doubters because the only thing his doubters were uttering was, play Jalen Hurts, play Jalen Hurts.
That's not all, but that got loudest. That was the loudest.
But the Eagles were down 14 to 11. Fourth quarter, about 6 minutes left. And I heard, just play Jalen Hurts, play Jalen Hurts. So what happened? The Eagles played Jalen Hurts. They put Jalen Hurts in. It's crunch time. Come on, Jalen, make a
Come on, center.
Fumbled the ball?
That wasn't no
Okay, so it was 1st and 10. Carson Wentz had gotten the Eagles into scoring position. Jalen Hurts fumbles the ball. So now it's 2nd and 18. Put Carson Wentz in. If Wentz throws a pick, the storyline isn't, Jalen Hurts set Wentz back to 2nd and 18. If Wentz throws a pick, they're just going to crucify Carson Wentz. But what did Carson Wentz do?
What did he do?
2nd and 18.
Did he run?
Game on the line.
I bet he ran.
What you going to do, Wentz? What you going to do, Wentz?
Threw the ball.
You're going to throw a strike.
42-yarder.
To a guy we've never heard of to get the Eagles the lead and ultimately seal the game. Carson Wentz silenced his doubters. Because when his doubters did things like what Marcellus said, play Jalen Hurts, play Jalen Hurts.
He fumbled the ball from a bad snap.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
He fumbled the ball. Carson Wentz went in, rescued not only Jalen Hurts, but the Eagles, Doug Peterson, and that season silenced you, the rest of the doubters, and have the Eagles in first place in the
Damn,
NFC.
Acho, you just played yourself. Play Emmanuel Acho, play Emmanuel Acho. I'm about to play you right now with a full screen right now. You say meaningless stats? I wonder if I give a guy $32 million, is this meaningless? What's your passer rating, sir? Last, sir. What's your yards per attempt? 32nd. It will be last, but some quarterbacks get in there and they're sorrier than me, but they only play a couple snaps. Like Jalen Hurts. Completion percentage, what is that? Kind of at the bottom, 28th. How many teams in the league? 32? Kind of bad. Yards per game. Oh, I'm doing better. I'm still in the, bottom tier right here. Passing touchdowns. Carson, you remember you were MVP candidate. How'd that look? 23rd, but I'm tied. What the hell? Giveaways. Oh, damn. I'm giving away the ball the most. 7 interceptions this year. You know, in the last 3 years I watched Carson Wentz play, when they weren't screaming for anybody to play because he was the man, 7 interceptions the entire season. 7 interceptions the entire season. 7 interceptions. 3 consecutive years in total, 7 interceptions. I say again, how many does he have after 4 games right now? 7. He's on pace for 28 interceptions. And I'm not even talking about giveaways. Carson Wentz has regressed to a place where now we have to look at him differently. But I won't allow you to do that. He is supposed to be a franchise quarterback. He's supposed to be a highly paid quarterback who's looked at through that lens. And if the team only wins because you use your legs and not your primary ability, which is to throw the football, oh, Carson Wentz, I'm off you, brother.
Marcellus, I got a question for you because I consider you a very high-quality football analyst. Cowboys, real quickly, can you just name me 3 of their receivers?
3?
Yeah, just name me 3. Say name 2.
CeeDee Lamb.
Absolutely.
I remember him draft day, him and that girl. Oh, that was the best name ever. Michael Gallup.
Yep.
Yeah. Amari Cooper.
Absolute. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
Name me 3 of the receivers that played for the Eagles yesterday.
You ready? Yesterday? What had happened was, no, just kidding. Okay, you ready? For real. And then whoa. Don't do that to me, Ward. Did he play?
He did.
I know it. I'm trying to play into the bit.
That's my point, Marcellus.
What's the point?
The point is, we don't even know who's out there for Wentz.
What does that
Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward,
I got
John
their names.
Hightower. Carson Wentz, since 2019, 10 Eagles have run 50 routes. 10 Eagles have run 50-plus routes for the receiver. What that means is that's the most in the NFL. Carson Wentz doesn't even have any sort of continuity with who he's throwing to. You don't know their names, and you get paid to know the names of players.
No,
you get
I
paid
could have gave you the
as
names.
an analyst.
I don't
Not without Google, you couldn't have. Not without Google, you couldn't have.
I can't do nothing without Google now. What you think this is, my childhood?
Here's my point,
Dewey Decimal System?
Carson Wentz is out here doing it with dudes we've never heard of. I'm going to give you a stat.
I'm trying to be nice.
Carson Wentz, 930 passing yards to Dak Prescott, 1,700. Carson Wentz, 4 passing touchdowns to Dak's 9. Carson Wentz, 1,000 total yards to Dak Prescott's 1,800. But if the season ended right now, only one of those quarterbacks would be in the playoffs, and it wouldn't be Dak Prescott. It's very simple.
What the hell you just say after week 4 of the playoffs?
It's very simple.
What am I doing?
The Eagles and Carson Wentz have somehow miraculously found a way to get the job done right now with the limited stuff that he has. And stop Googling the Eagles receivers' names.
Oh,
you already made my point.
I am not Googling their names because I could really kill you on that. I could start going into like top 5 quarterbacks right now in terms of yardage or quarterback rating and say, Gardner Minshew, 3, and you'd be like, Google. See, that's my point. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. Have you ever been in a contract negotiation? In the NFL?
No, I wasn't that valued. I'm going to be real.
I love my dog. You know what happens? They say you can't hide behind our record, bro. When it's time to talk about you, we got to talk about you and nobody else. And all I'm saying right now is the evaluation of Carson Wentz is, okay, you guys got to win.
Absolutely.
But Carson Wentz, the evaluation of you being the reason we win, because of you, not in spite of you, no one can sit there and not have criticism for him, especially the coaches and the brass in this organization. Like, just being real, all bits aside. Woo! I got cut from not being a top 3 DN to like middle tier 15th. I got cut because they were like, you can't show us this and then show us this. What the hell is, you were MVP candidate less than 3 years ago, and now all I see is last and 30 seconds and
Let me ask you this.
You gotta have
Let me ask you this. Did Carson Wentz, were you impressed by Carson Wentz yesterday?
No.
Not at all.
He was under the Mendoza line, under 200 yards passing. He went out there and led with his legs. He had a couple throws, accuracy, still a problem.
Do you still believe that the Eagles should have started Jalen Hurts yesterday?
No, I'm not going to that place.
Okay.
My whole thing with Carson Wentz has been, put him on the sidelines, let him get a different perspective of the game and see things from that perspective. A TV timeout. Put him back in, 1, because you have to because of the dead cap and how much he's making. But 2, he may all of a sudden feel a sense of urgency, a clarity to his position. You cannot go down fighting in a division you can win it with 8 wins and letting the guy go out there be last. You know how many sorry quarterbacks are out there?